So today's topic is anatomy of the lid and lacrimal apparatus. So what is lid? Eyelid is a thin fold of skin that covers and protects an eye, and it has a row of eyelashes which serve to heighten the protection of the eye from the dust and foreign body and keep the eye moist. Its key function is to regularly spread the tears and other secretion on the eye surface to keep it moist, since the cornea must be continuously moist. They keep the eyes from drying out when asleep, and the blink reflex protect the eye from the foreign body. So, gross anatomy of eyelid is, we will discuss about parts of eyelid, position of lids, canthi, palpebral aperture, and lid margin. So, grossly, each eyelid is divided by a horizontal furrow which is known as sulcus into two parts, orbital part and tarsal part. Orbital, as you can see in this picture, orbital portion is, you can see upper portion is the orbital portion and lower one is the tarsal part. ये जो ऑरेंज लाइन है ये डिवाइड करती है दो पार्ट में. ऑर्बिटल पोर्शन इज अपर पार्ट एंड लोअर पार्ट इज टार्सल पोर्शन. Lower punctum, there you can see in this picture there is one upper punctum and one lower punctum. In lower lid there is opening of the tarsal gland is present, and in between the outer margin and inner margin of the eyelid there is a intermarginal strip is present. When eye is open, the upper lid covers about 1/6 of the cornea and the lower lid just touches the limbus. So now tell me what is the diameter of cornea. तुम्हारे तो लास्ट ईयर भी क्लास हुई है ना आई की, एनाटॉमी तो पता होगी ना. चलो ठीक है फिर पढ़ना है ना क्या होता है, इतना तो पता होना चाहिए ना बेसिक. सो अपर लिड कवर्स अबाउट 1/6 ऑफ द कॉर्निया एंड द लोअर लिड जस्ट टचेस द लिम्बस. देयर आर टू कैंथाई. Two lid meet each other at the medial and the lateral canthus. The medial canthus is about 2 mm higher than the lateral canthus. Now palpebral aperture, it is a elliptical space or vertical space between the upper and the lower lid. When the eyes are open, it measures about 10 to 11 mm vertically and about 28 to 30 mm horizontally. Lid margin is about 2 mm broad and is divided, no, bahar hi raho. Huh? It is about 2 mm broad and divided into two parts by the punctum. The medial part is known as lacrimal portion is rounded and divided of lashes and glands, and the lateral ciliary portion is consist of rounded anterior border and sharp posterior border, and in between there is a intermarginal strip between the anterior and the posterior border. The gray line, which is the junction of the skin and the conjunctiva, divided the intermarginal strip into anterior and posterior strip. Anterior strip contain the three rows of eyelashes, and posterior strip on which opening of the meibomian glands are arranged. The splitting of the eyelid when required is in operation is during the oculoplasty surgery is done at the level of the gray line. Now come to the layers of eyelid. From anterior to posterior there are 7 layers of eyelid. Outer is skin, then subcutaneous fat, layer of striated muscles, submuscular areolar tissue, fibrous layer, layer of non-striated muscle, and then conjunctiva, which is the innermost. Skin is elastic and it is the thinnest part of the body. The subcutaneous areolar tissue contain the, it is very loose and there is no fat. It is thus readily distended by the edema or the blood. Now third layer is layer of striated muscle. It consists of the orbicularis oculi muscle which surround the eye. It comprises three portions: the orbital portion, palpebral portion, and the lacrimal portion. It closes the eyelid and supplied by the zygomatic branch of facial nerve. In addition, there is a one more muscle in the upper lid which is known as levator palpebral superioris muscle (LPS). It arises from the apex of the orbit and is inserted by the three parts. One part is on the skin of the lid, second part is over the anterior surface of the tarsal plate, and third part over the conjunctiva of the superior fornix. And the function of LPS is elevation. It raises the upper lid, and it is supplied by the branch of oculomotor nerve. Now fourth layer is the submuscular areolar tissue, which is a loose connective tissue. The nerves and vessels lie in this layer. So to anesthetize the lid, injection is given in this layer. Fibrous layer is the main framework of the eyelid, and it consists of the two parts: central tarsal plate and peripheral septum orbital. It is the main part which form the anatomy of the eyelid. Tarsal plate is a thick plate, and there are two plates of dense connective tissue, one for each lid. One is for upper lid and another one is for lower lid, which give the shape and firmness of the eyelid. Upper and lower tarsal plate join with each other at the medial and lateral canthi and attach to the medial and lateral palpebral ligament. In the substance of the tarsal plate, there is a gland of Meibomian gland is present, and duct opening present in the parallel rows. Now, second is the septum orbital, which is known as the palpebral fascia. It is a thin membrane of connective tissue, and it is perforated by the nerve vessel and LPS muscle. Now, sixth layer is a layer of non-striated muscle fiber, which is known as Muller muscle, and it is lie deep to the septum orbital in both the upper lid and lower lid. In upper lid, it arises from the fibers of LPS muscle, and in lower lid, it arises from the prolongation of the inferior rectus muscle, and is inserted on the peripheral margin of tarsal plate, supplied by the sympathetic fibers. And the last innermost layer is conjunctiva, which lines the lid, which is known as palpebral conjunctiva. It has three parts: marginal, tarsal, and orbital conjunctiva. In this picture, you can see the white part is the LPS muscle, which is coming from the superior apex of the orbit, and green portion is the fat, and below the fat there is septum orbital, and you can see orbis pilaris muscle all around the eyelid, which is the reddish part. Zeiss gland is present near the hair follicle, and in the tarsal plate you can see the opening of Meibomian gland. And Muller muscle is present beneath the LPS muscle. Now come to the glands of eyelid. There are mainly four glands present in the eyelid. One is Meibomian gland, which is present in tarsal plate and arranged vertically. Number of Meibomian gland is more in upper eyelid as compared to lower eyelid, in 30 to 40 in upper and 20 to 30 in lower eyelid. They are modified sebaceous gland, and opening are present at the lid margin. Second is the gland of Zeiss, which are sebaceous gland and open into the follicle of eyelashes. Another gland is glands of Moll, which is a modified sweet gland situated near the hair follicle, and they don't open directly into the skin. They open into the glands of Zeiss and then open into the surface other than the skin. Now, accessory lacrimal gland of Wolfram, they are present near the upper border of the tarsal plate. In this picture, you can see the different type of glands. Lacrimal gland is present superiorly at the lacrimal fossa. Beneath the lacrimal gland, there is a gland of Krauss is present, which is accessory gland of lacrimal gland. Now, and the gland of Wolfram is present in the fornix of the superior eyelid. Now you can see the Meibomian gland, and opening of Meibomian gland is present at the tarsal plate. Gland of Zeiss and gland of Moll is present in the eyelashes. Now blood supply of the eyelid. There are two arcs on each upper and lower lid. They are formed by the anastomosis of the lateral palpebral artery and the medial palpebral artery, which is a branch of lacrimal artery and ophthalmic artery. And venous drainage is mainly by the ophthalmic vein and the subcutaneous vein. Nerve supply, there are two types of nerve supply, motor and sensory. Sensory nerve supply is for the upper lid, supraorbital nerve, supratrochlear nerve and lacrimal nerve, which is the first division of fifth cranial nerve, and lower lid intraorbital, medial and infratrochlear nerve. And motor nerves mainly supplied by the facial. Facial nerve supply the orbis pilaris ocular muscle. Oculomotor third nerve supply the LPS muscle, and sympathetic fiber supply the Muller muscle. जिन लोगों को नहीं पढ़ना है वो बाहर चले जाओ, अटेंडेंस हो चुकी है. अभी मैं बोल रही हूँ, उसके बाद शोर मत करना. जिसको भी जाना है बाहर चले जाओ, गेट खुला हुआ है. कम से कम तुम आधा घंटा तो शांत बैठ सकते हो ना. Lymphatic nodes from the lateral half of the lid drain into the preauricular or superficial parotid lymph nodes, and from the medial half of the eyelid drain into the submandibular. As you can see in this picture, medial part drain into the submandibular and lateral part of eyelid drain into the preauricular lymph nodes. Now come to the anatomy of the lacrimal apparatus. Lacrimal apparatus consists with the lacrimal gland, lacrimal duct, lacrimal puncta, lacrimal canaliculi, lacrimal sac, and nasolacrimal duct. Lacrimal gland open through the lacrimal duct, open into the superior fornix, and few openings are present in the inferior fornix. Then lacrimal opening through the canaliculi open into the puncta, then through the canaliculi open into the lacrimal sac, and then last part is nasolacrimal duct, which is open in the inferior meatus of the nose. Lacrimal gland is located into the anterolateral part of roof of orbit in the fossa for lacrimal gland. It is divided into two parts. Large part is orbital part, and small part is palpebral part, which is continuous with the aponeurosis of the LPS muscle. As you can see in this picture, lateral superior lateral जो ये दिख रही है बड़ी सी ग्लैंड ये lacrimal gland है. इसके दो पार्ट होते हैं. Upper part is orbital and lower small part is palpebral part. Approximately 10 to 12 ducts pass downward from the main gland to open in the lateral part of superior fornix, and one or two ducts open in the inferior fornix. There are two accessory lacrimal glands are present. One is gland of Krauss and other one is gland of Wolfing. Gland of Krauss is present in the fornix and gland of Wolfing are present in the superior border of the tarsal plate. Blood supply is through the internal carotid artery, which is a branch of blood supply is through the lacrimal artery, which is a branch of internal carotid artery, and through the ophthalmic artery and through the lacrimal artery is supplied the lacrimal gland. And lacrimal drainage again occurs through the lacrimal vein, superior ophthalmic vein, and then the angular vein. Lymphatic drainage occurs through the periauricular group of lymph nodes. Parasympathetic nerve supply occurs through the superior salivary nucleus. Sympathetic supply occurs from carotid plexus, and sensory supply occurs from the lacrimal nerve, which is a branch of ophthalmic division of the fifth nerve. Now lacrimal puncta. There are two puncta situated in the east lid margin at the junction of the ciliary and lacrimal part, and puncta are located on the elevation which is known as lacrimal papilla. Upper puncta is 6 mm and lower puncta is situated 6.5 mm away from the medial canthus, and it is surrounded by the fibrous tissue which keeps them patent. Fibrous tissue is formed by the fibers of orbis pilaris oculi muscle. There are two canaliculi joins puncta to lacrimal sac. There are two parts of canaliculi. One is vertical and second one is horizontal part. Vertical part is 2 mm long and horizontal part is 8 mm long. At junction dilated to form ampulla. Lacrimal canaliculi pierce lacrimal fascia and unite to form common canalicular, which is open into the lacrimal sinus of Meyer. At opening into the sac is protected by the valve of Rosenmuller, which is surrounded by the fibers of pars lacrimalis, which is a part of orbis pilaris oculi muscle. During blink, canaliculi pulled medially, shortened and compressed by pars lacrimalis, which helps in dilation of the lacrimal sac by tear. तो lacrimal जो पंप मैकेनिज्म होती है उसमें मेन रोल जो होता है वो ऑर्बिस पिलरिस ओकुलाई मसल का होता है. इसके फाइबर्स जो होते हैं वो डिवाइडेड होते हैं प्रीसेप्टर प्री टार्सल. वो जो होते हैं वो कैनालिकुलाई को कॉन्स्ट्रिक्ट करते हैं, रिलैक्स करते हैं, जिसके थ्रू हमारे टीयर का फ्लो होता है. Now lacrimal sac, which is located in the lacrimal fossa, and medial wall is formed by the lamina, piperaceae, lacrimal bone and frontal process of maxilla. It is surrounded by the lacrimal fascia, which results from splitting of the periorbita. Between the sac, lacrimal sac and lacrimal fascia, there is a alveolar tissue and venous structures are present. There are three parts of sac. One is fundus, which is above the opening of canaliculi. second one is body, and third one is neck. You can see in this picture. Fundus is the upper part, middle part is body, and neck is the lower part which is open in the inferior navel. Nasolacrimal duct is extend from the lacrimal sac to the inferior meatus of the nose. The length of nasolacrimal duct is around 15 to 18 mm and diameter is about 3 mm. Upper end is narrowest. The direction is downward, backward and laterally, and it is lined by the two layer of columnar epithelium. It has two parts, intraosseous and intrameatal part. Intraosseous part is located in nasolacrimal canal formed by the maxilla, lacrimal bone and inferior nasal concha. Intramural part is variable in length and lies the inferior meatus. NLD open below in an anterior part of inferior meatus. And it is guarded by a fold of mucosa which is known as valve of Hessner, which is very important valve. Sometime at time of birth in some children there is a blocking of the valve of Hessner occurs, which is lead to the congenital nasolacrimal duct obstruction. And duct is surrounded by the rich plexus of veins which form the erectile tissue and government lead to obstruction of NLD and which lead to epiphora, which is known as excessive watering. Now, what is the mechanism of lacrimal pump? Lacrimal fluid over the preocular surface, it forms the marginal tear strip, then go to the lacus lacrimalis, then go to the inner canthus. Through the lacrimal passage, it go to the nasal cavity. Lacrimal pump mechanism is mainly formed by the orbicularis, fibers of orbicularis oculi muscles, fibers of pretarsal and preceptor portion of the orbicularis. किसकी आवाज आ रही है? ये बाहर चले जाओ ना, उठ के। तुम्हें बोल दिया अटेंडेंस हो गई, क्यों बैठे हो यहाँ पे? अगर बात ही करनी है तो बाहर चले जाओ। So fibers of the pretarsal and preseptal portion of the orbicularis muscles arises from the lacrimal fascia and posterior lacrimal crest, and they play an important role in the lacrimal pump mechanism. So what is the mechanism? In the relaxed state, the puncta lie in the tear lake, then eyelid closure, then orbicularis muscle contract, and this leads to the this create the negative pressure in the canaliculi and the fluid push into the lacrimal sac. जब lid को हम close करेंगे, as you can see in the static picture, तो ये जो canaliculi है, यहाँ पे जो fluid होता है वो sac में negative pressure create होता है और सारा fluid जो है वो sac में आ जाता है। और उसके बाद जब हम lid को open करते हैं तो फिर से क्या होता है, जो orbicularis oculi muscles है वो रिलैक्स होंगी और जो फ्लूइड है वहाँ पे lacrimal sac में पॉजिटिव प्रेशर क्रिएट होगा और सारा फ्लूइड जो है वो nasolacrimal duct के थ्रू जो है वो बाहर निकल जाता है, पास आउट हो जाएगा। तो दिस इज द मैकेनिज्म ऑफ lacrimal pump. Start of blink, lid open, system filled with fluid. When lid half closed, orbicularis oculi muscles relaxed and lid closure squeeze canaliculi and sac. Complete closure leads to the canaliculi squeeze maximum and all fluid expel out. When we open the lid, when lid half open, this release of the pressure of canaliculi, but puncta is still occluded, and end of blink lead to the open the puncta and fluid drawn into the canaliculi from tear menisci, and again the lacrimal sac is filled with the fluid. Drainage of lacrimal fluid from NLD into the nasal cavity. First is gravity, which is helps downward flow. Air current in the nose induce negative pressure within the NLD, which draw the fluid down the potential lumen of the duct into the nose. And valve of Hessner present in the lower end, which remain open as long as the pressure within the nose is less than the NLD, which allow the tear to flow from NLD to nose. Those three factors are important for the lacrimal fluid lacrimal pump mechanism. One is gravity, second one is the air current which create the negative pressure, and third one is the valve of Hessner which open as long as the pressure is less than the NLD. So this is all about the anatomy of the eyelid and